Why does your dog pace back and forth before going to sleep, eat grass, only to vomit it up later? Howl at sirens and perform dozens of other strange behaviors that leave owners completely puzzled. And the biggest question that drives every dog owner crazy: why do dogs insist on sniffing other people's private areas every time they meet? Today, 18 explanations for canine behavior will finally be revealed. We are going deep into the evolutionary history, biology, and psychology of your best friend to decode the things they do that seem weird to us, but make perfect sense to them. First, why does your dog walk in circles before lying down? You have seen this 1,000 times. Your dog has found the perfect spot on the couch or their expensive orthopedic bed. But instead of just settling in like a human, would they begin circling? 3, 5, or sometimes even 10 times in a row, round and round they go. To us, it looks like obsessive compulsiveness. But this is an ancient instinct inherited directly from their wild ancestors, wolves and wild dogs, who slept outdoors with no shelter and certainly no memory foam. In the wild, circling served 3 critical survival functions. First, it flattened tall grass and thick vegetation to create a comfortable, warm sleeping nest. By trampling the grass, they created a temporary bed that was softer and held body heat better. Second, this movement was a safety check. The circular motion scared away snakes, scorpions, stinging insects, and small rodents hiding in the vegetation. The dog was effectively sweeping its territory for danger before allowing itself to become unconscious, the state when it would be most vulnerable to a bite or sting. Third, and perhaps most ingenious, the circling helped them determine the wind direction. By sensing the wind, they could position themselves so that their nose was facing the wind while they slept. This allowed them to detect the scent of predators approaching from downwind long before they could see or hear them. The couch at home is perfectly safe, of course. There are no snakes in your living room cushions. But thousands of years of evolution can't be erased by a few generations of living with humans. A dog's brain still runs the old safety check program every time it prepares to sleep. The number of circles usually depends on how tired or anxious they are at that moment. An anxious dog may circle more to ensure absolute safety before resting. Second, why do dogs eat grass and then vomit? Owners often panic when they see their dog grazing in the backyard like a cow. You feed them premium food, yet they seem desperate to chew on the lawn. Veterinarians once believed this was purely a sign of stomach trouble or nutritional deficiency, but modern studies show something completely different and far more complex. It turns out that only about 25% of dogs actually vomit after eating grass, and even fewer show signs of illness beforehand. For the vast majority, this is a normal instinctive feeding behavior inherited from wild canines. In the wild, wolves consumed their prey entirely. This included the stomach contents of herbivores like deer and rabbits, which were rich in plant fiber, digested grass and trace minerals. Modern dogs, especially those on kibble diets, instinctively try to compensate for the lack of raw, fresh plant fiber. Grass acts as a natural digestive aid. It creates friction in the digestive tract, moving things along. Furthermore, grass contains chlorophyll and folic acid, AB vitamin, that is essential for healthy blood formation and carrying oxygen in the blood. However, there is a medicinal side to it. Some dogs do purposely eat grass to induce vomiting when they have gas bloating or stomach discomfort. In these cases, you will notice them choosing tough, wide blades of grass with coarse bristles. These bristles tickle and irritate the throat and stomach lining, triggering the vomit reflex to purge whatever is bothering them. But most of the time, they simply enjoy the taste and texture of fresh grass, especially tender spring shoots after the thaw. It's like a salad for them. The only real danger comes when the grass has been treated with pesticides, herbicides, or chemical fertilizers. If your dog is a grazer, ensure your lawn is chemical-free. Third, Why do dogs bury bones and toys? You hand your dog a delicious high-value bone. It sniffs it eagerly, eyes widening with excitement. But then, instead of eating it, they immediately trot off to the corner of the yard, dig a hole and bury it. Or if they are indoors, they shove it deep between the sofa cushions. It seems ridiculous to us. Why hide food when the bowl is filled every day at 5 p.m.? Hunger isn't a threat in a modern home. This behavior is called caching, and it is deeply rooted in the feast or famine lifestyle of their ancestors. Wolves and wild canids never knew when the next successful hunt would happen. A large kill meant too much food to eat at once, and leaving it out would attract scavengers like crows, vultures, or rival packs. So they buried the leftovers. The cool earth acted as a natural refrigerator, slowing down decomposition and preserving the meat's freshness. More importantly, the dirt masked the smell of the meat from other predators. Modern dogs no longer need to store food for survival, but the instinct remains coded in their genetics. It is a just-in-case mechanism. A 2017 behavioral study from the University of Florida showed that even well-fed domestic dogs displayed caching behavior when presented with high-value items, proving the instinct activates automatically based on the value of the object, rather than out of hunger. Interestingly, dogs often forget where they bury their treasures. Unlike squirrels, which have incredible spatial memory for hidden nuts, dogs often rely on stumbling upon their buried bones later by scent. Certain breeds are especially prone to this, like terriers, dachshunds, and beagles, which were historically bred to hunt and dig. Apartment dogs mimic this by using laundry piles or blankets, an indoor version of the same ancient survival routine. Fourth, why do dogs chase their own tails? A puppy notices something moving in their peripheral vision, spins around, and begins twirling like a little tornado, trying to catch its own tail. It is a source of endless amusement for owners and internet videos. It looks funny, but the causes are varied and sometimes not harmless. For puppies, this is perfectly normal play behavior. It is a way to develop coordination and explore their own bodies. They simply don't yet fully understand that the tail is an extension of their own spine. They view it as a separate moving toy. But adult dogs are a different story. Adult dogs might chase their tail out of boredom, especially breeds with high energy that lack physical and mental stimulation. It becomes a way to burn off frustration. Some dogs also do it for attention. Owners laugh record videos and talk to them when they do it unintentionally, reinforcing the behavior as a way to get noticed. However, frequent, intense tail chasing in adults can signal something more serious. A 2012 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science found that compulsive tail chasing can resemble human obsessive-compulsive disorder (OCD). It is often linked to high anxiety stress or genetic predisposition. Bull terriers and German shepherds are particularly prone to this compulsion. Furthermore, dogs may chase their tail due to physical discomfort. They might be trying to reach an itch caused by fleas or ticks near the tail base, allergies causing skin irritation, impacted or infected anal glands, neurological issues affecting the spine. If the behavior becomes obsessive, occurs daily, or the dog seems unable to stop when called a veterinary checkup is necessary to rule out medical causes. Fifth, why does your dog howl when it hears a siren? An ambulance or fire truck passes by your house, and your dog instantly stops what they are doing, lifts its head to the sky, and lets out a long, mournful howl following the siren's rising and falling pitch. Owners often joke that their dog is singing along or hurting its ears. But the real reason is strictly communicative. Howling is a long-distance communication method wolves use to send signals across distances of up to 6 miles 10 kilometers in the open wilderness. It was a way to locate pack members who had separated during a hunt or to warn rival packs to stay away. Emergency sirens share remarkably similar acoustic frequencies with wolf howls, especially in the 450–750 Hz range. To a dog's ear, a siren doesn't sound like a car. It sounds like a very loud, very strange dog howling from a distance. A 2020 acoustic analysis published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior confirmed that the frequency of standard ambulance sirens overlaps heavily with the natural howling range of wolves and domestic dogs. Your dog interprets the sound as a call from a distant pack member or a strange animal and instinctively replies. It's not distressed, it's not in pain, it's simply saying, "I hear you. Here is my location. I am here." Some breeds are naturally more vocal than others. Huskies, Malamutes, and Beagles, for instance, retain strong wolf-like vocal patterns. What's fascinating is that if you listen closely, dogs often adjust the pitch of their howl to avoid matching the siren exactly. This mimics wild pack howls where each wolf chooses a unique pitch to make the pack sound larger and to avoid acoustic interference, strengthening group harmony. Sixth, why do dogs roll on their backs in grass or mud? You have just spent money and time bathing your dog with fragrant oatmeal shampoo. You take them outside for a potty break, and they immediately find the dirtiest, smelliest patch of mud or dead grass flop onto their back and wriggle around with pure joy written all over their face. For humans, it's a disaster. For dogs, it's an essential tactical instinct. Wild canines utilize scent masking before hunts. If a wolf smells like a wolf, the deer will smell it coming from a mile away. But if the wolf smells like mud-rotting leaves or the carcass of another animal, it is camouflaged. Rolling in foul-smelling things was a way to hide their predatory scent. To a dog, the artificial fragrances in our shampoos, lavender, vanilla, citrus, are loud, unnatural chemical signals. They scream, "I am here," to the world. A 2016 study in chemical senses found that many commercial pet shampoos contain strong scent compounds that dogs perceive as alarmingly foreign, triggering an urge to mask that scent immediately after grooming. They are trying to smell like a dog again. However, rolling isn't just about smell. It satisfies physical needs too. It scratches itches along the spine that they can't reach with paws or teeth. Cool, damp earth helps regulate body temperature on hot days. The pressure on their back releases muscle tension just like stretching does for humans. And emotionally rolling is often a sign of intense positive arousal. It happens when they are excited, free, or happy during a walk. It's the canine equivalent of humans jumping for joy or dancing when they feel euphoric. Seventh, why do dogs sniff each other's butts when they meet? Two dogs meet on a walk. The owners smile at each other, but the dogs immediately bypass the face and shove their noses under each other's tails. It looks incredibly awkward to us. But to dogs, this is both a handshake and an exchange of detailed business cards. This ritual is the primary way dogs gather social information. Located inside the rectum are two small sacs called anal glands. These glands secrete a chemical cocktail of strong-smelling oils that is as unique as a fingerprint. No two dogs smell the same. From this scent alone, a dog can decode a massive amount of data: gender, age, health status, and immune system strength. Emotional state, are they anxious or confident? Reproductive condition, is a female in heat? Diet, what they ate recently. Social rank. It is like reading a detailed biography in 3 seconds with 0 misunderstandings. Dogs possess a specialized organ located between the nose and the mouth called the vomeronasal organ, or Jacobson's organ. This organ is designed specifically to detect pheromones. A landmark study from the University of Colorado found that dogs' ability to process pheromones via this organ makes their social assessment 50 times more sensitive than humans' hormonal detection capabilities. In most encounters, the dominant or more confident dog sniffs first, while the subordinate dog waits and stands still. Allowing another dog to sniff without resistance is a signal of trust and openness. Conversely, clamping the tail down to cover the anal area is a sign of fear, insecurity, or a refusal to share information. Eighth, why does your dog lick your face so enthusiastically? You come home after work, drop your keys, and your dog rushes towards you. Before you can even say hello, they are jumping up and licking your face with intense devotion, aiming for your mouth, nose, and chin. It is definitely an expression of love, but the roots of this behavior are biological and evolutionary. In the wild, wolf pups lick the mother's muzzle when she returns from a hunt. This physical stimulation triggers the mother to regurgitate partially digested food for the puppies to eat. This is how pups were fed after weaning. Thus, the act of licking the face became deeply rooted in the canine brain early in life as a survival mechanism, a way to ask for nourishment, care, and connection. For an adult dog, licking the owner's face has evolved into a submissive, affectionate gesture. It acknowledges the human as the provider and leader of the family pack. A 2014 study published in Behavioral Processes found that dogs showed significantly more facial licking toward individuals they considered socially superior or emotionally important to their survival. Furthermore, dogs gather information from the taste of your skin, where you have been, who you interacted with, what animals you touched, whether you are stressed. Human sweat contains salty traces and biochemical markers. Research from Queen's University Belfast showed that dogs can detect stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, in human breath and sweat with over 90% accuracy. This explains why they tend to lick you more intensely. When you are anxious or crying, they can taste your stress and are trying to soothe you. Licking also releases endorphins in the dog's own brain, calming them down and easing the stress of separation after you've been away all day. Ninth, why does your dog tilt its head when you talk to it? You say, "Do you want to go for a walk?" Or, "Where is your ball?" in a high-pitched, engaging tone. Your dog stops, looks at you, and tilts its head adorably to one side. This gesture is irresistible to humans, but there is a practical sensory reason behind it. First, it is about vision. A dog's muzzle, especially in long-nosed breeds like German Shepherds or Greyhounds, can physically block the lower part of their field of vision. By tilting their head, they move their muzzle out of the way, allowing them to see your entire face clearly. This helps them read the micro-expressions around your mouth, which is crucial for understanding your intent. Second, it is about hearing. Dogs have ears that can move independently, but tilting the head helps them triangulate the source of the sound and hear tone nuances better. It opens up the ear canal to the sound source. A 2021 study in animal cognition demonstrated that dogs process human facial expressions in a way strikingly similar to human infants. But even more interestingly, a study from Eötvös Loránd University in Hungary found that dogs who were classified as gifted word learners dogs that could learn dozens of toy names tilted their heads significantly more often than average dogs. This suggests that head tilting is a sign of intense mental processing and concentration. They are literally thinking hard about what you are saying. And of course, dogs are smart. They quickly learn that humans adore this gesture. We laugh, we coo, and we give them treats when they do it. So they learn to do it more often to bond with us. 10th, why does your dog whimper and twitch its legs while sleeping? Your dog is sleeping peacefully at your feet. Suddenly their paws start twitching. Then their legs kick as if they are running. You hear soft whimpers, muffled barks, or even growls under their breath. Owners often worry their dog is having a nightmare or a seizure and feel tempted to wake them up to save them. But research has shown that dogs dream in almost the exact same way humans do. A classic 2001 MIT study on rats demonstrated that animals replayed daily activities during REM sleep, and follow-up studies from Harvard confirm that dogs exhibit nearly identical neural patterns to humans during sleep. Their brains cycle through sleep stages, including the rapid eye movement REM phase, where vivid dreaming occurs. During REM sleep, dogs are processing events from the day. They are reinforcing memories of commands you taught them. They are learning from experiences. They are rehearsing instinctive behaviors like chasing squirrels or playing fetch. The leg movements are just the physical manifestation of them running in the dream. The whimpers are their dream voice. It is best not to wake your dog during this stage. A dog startled out of deep REM sleep may snap involuntarily, confused about where it is, just like a human who wakes up disoriented from a vivid dream. Interestingly, size matters. Small dogs dream more frequently, but for shorter periods, maybe every 10 minutes, while large dogs have fewer dreams that last longer. Neuroscientists even believe dogs dream about their owners, an idea supported by 2015 research from the National Sleep Foundation, which found dogs show heightened REM activity after strong emotional interactions with their humans. 11th, why does your dog dig at the floor or couch before lying down? Beyond the circling we discussed earlier, many dogs scratch and dig vigorously at the bed, the couch cushions, or even the carpet before flopping down. This can be destructive and loud, but it isn't bad behavior. This is simply another form of the same ancestral nesting instinct. Wild canines dug shallow holes in the ground for temperature control. In the summer, the topsoil is hot, but an inch down the earth is cool. Digging allowed them to place their bellies against cool soil. In the winter, digging a pit created a windbreak that shielded them from freezing air and retained body heat. A 2019 study in mammalian biology observed that wild canids performed digging behaviors before rest over 80% of the time, regardless of the climate, proving it is a deeply encoded survival strategy. Furthermore, scratching releases scent markers. Dogs have glands in their paw pads. By scratching your bed or the couch, they are physically marking the area with their scent, signaling, "This is my bed. Sleep here." Pregnant females dig more intensely as part of a nesting instinct to create a safe den for puppies, a behavior so ingrained that even spayed females who will never give birth still display it when they are tired or seeking comfort. 12th, why does your dog hide under the bed during thunderstorms? A storm begins to brew outside. The sky darkens. The dog, who is usually fearless, suddenly begins panting, pacing, and eventually squeezes under the bed or into a dark closet, shaking uncontrollably. Up to 30% of dogs suffer from intense thunderstorm anxiety, and sadly the fear tends to worsen with age, not improve. The causes are a sensory overload. Dogs' hearing is far sharper than ours. Thunder is not just a loud boom. It is a physically painful, low-frequency vibration that rattles their eardrums. A 2015 study from Penn State University found that dogs detect thunder at frequencies humans cannot hear, which triggers fear long before we even hear the first rumble. But sound isn't the only factor. Dogs are barometers. They sense the drop in atmospheric pressure in their inner ears minutes or hours before the storm arrives. Even stranger, their fur accumulates static electricity during storms. Research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior showed that the static buildup in the air can cause tiny electrical discharges along the dog's coat. They literally feel sharp, uncomfortable tingles and shocks on their skin. Small enclosed spaces like under the bed or next to a porcelain bathtub help ground this static or simply reduce the airflow around them, providing relief from the prickling sensations. That's why many dogs instinctively seek shelter in places that feel insulated. Interestingly, dogs with thick double coats, like collies or shepherds, often suffer more from storm anxiety because their dense fur traps more static charge. 13th, Why does your dog bring you objects without being asked? You walk through the door exhausted. Your dog greets you not just with a wag, but with a slipper, a dirty sock, or a squeaky toy in its mouth. You didn't ask to play fetch, but they are presenting it to you like a trophy. This charming behavior has ancient roots in pack dynamics. In a wolf pack, younger or lower-ranking members would bring pieces of food or prey to the dominant wolves, or the parents, as a sign of respect, submission, and loyalty. It was a way of contributing to the pack's well-being. Your dog is doing a modern version of this. They are offering a symbolic gift to the person they recognize as the leader of their family pack. It is an appeasement gesture that says, "I am happy to see you and I come bearing gifts." Additionally, carrying something in the mouth releases tension. For a dog that is overexcited to see you holding a toy helps them channel that chaotic energy into a job. Certain breeds, especially golden retrievers, Labradors, and spaniels, were selectively bred for thousands of years to carry game back to hunters without damaging it a soft mouth. A 2018 genetic study from the University of Edinburgh found that retrieving behaviors are linked to specific gene clusters that remain active in modern breeds even when no hunting is involved. They simply feel a biological need to carry things to you. 14th, why do dogs smell people's private areas? We have arrived at the most uncomfortable moment for any dog owner. You have a guest over, maybe a new date or a relative, and your dog immediately sticks its nose right into their crotch. You apologize profusely, trying to drag the dog away, while the dog acts like it's the most normal thing in the world. To dogs, it is perfectly normal. It is the human equivalent of checking someone's ID badge. The human groin and armpits contain high concentrations of apocrine sweat glands. Unlike regular sweat glands that just cool us down, apocrine glands release pheromones and chemical signals rich in fats and proteins. To the canine nose, this area is a treasure trove of biological data. From this scent alone, a dog can determine gender. Emotional state, fear, and stress smell different than calm. Reproductive hormones, menstruation, ovulation, or testosterone levels, general health, and diet. A 2019 chemical analysis study from Georgia Tech confirmed that apocrine sweat carries unique hormonal markers dogs can detect with astonishing accuracy. Dogs show special interest in pregnant women, new mothers, or people with certain medical conditions, because their hormones have shifted noticeably. For dogs, this behavior is neither rude nor inappropriate. It's simply the most efficient, direct way to gather essential information about a new human entering their territory. 15th, why does your dog get the zoomies? It's 8:00 p.m. The house is quiet. Suddenly, your dog's eyes go wide, their pupils dilate, and they tuck their butt underneath them. Then chaos. They sprint at full speed around the living room, banking off the couch, spinning in circles, and running like they are possessed. We call this the zoomies, but the scientific term is frenetic random activity periods, or FRAPs. This behavior is a release valve for pent-up energy. Even dogs that get walked regularly can accumulate nervous energy or excitement throughout the day. When that tank gets full, it has to empty fast. Zoomies often happen at transition times, after a bath relief from being wet and restrained, after a long nap, waking up with full batteries, when the owner comes home, overwhelming excitement, late at night, burning off the last energy before deep sleep. While it looks crazy, it is a sign of a happy, healthy dog. It shows they feel safe enough in their environment to lose control for a minute. The butt tuck run helps protect their hind legs and tail from being grabbed by potential playmates during the chase. Unless they are running into dangerous objects, it's best to just let them zoom it out. 16th, why does your dog kick its feet after pooping? Your dog finishes doing their business, and then with great intensity, they kick their back feet against the ground, tearing up grass and dirt. Owners often think, Oh, they are trying to cover the mess like a cat. Actually, they are doing the opposite. Cats bury their waste to hide it. Dogs kick to highlight it. This is a territorial marking behavior. Dogs have glands located between their toes called interdigital glands. When they scrape the ground, they are releasing pheromones from their feet onto the earth. The visual mark of the torn-up grass combined with the scent of the waste and the scent from their paws creates a massive "I was here" billboard for other dogs. The higher the dirt flies and the more vigorous the kicking, the more confident the message. It is a way of claiming territory and warning other dogs that a strong canine presence is in the area. 17th. Why does your dog stare at you while it poops? This is another awkward one. You take your dog out. They squat to do their business, and then they lock eyes with you. They stare deeply into your soul while they poop. It feels weirdly intimate and judgmental. But this isn't about judgment. It is about vulnerability. In the wild, the act of defecation is one of the most dangerous times for an animal. They are stationary, squatted, and not ready to fight or flee. They are vulnerable to attack. When your dog stares at you during this moment, they are looking for reassurance. They are checking to make sure you are watching the surroundings. They view you as the lookout. If you are calm, they feel safe. They are essentially saying, "I am in a compromised position right now. Watch my back, okay?" It is a sign that they trust you implicitly to protect them when they cannot protect themselves. 18th. Why does your dog sleep on its back with legs in the air? We started with circling to be safe. But what about the dog that sleeps flat on its back legs splayed open, exposing its belly to the world? This is the dead bug pose, and it tells you two very specific things about your dog's current state. First, it is about temperature. The belly has the thinnest fur, and the paws contain sweat glands. By exposing the belly to the air, the dog can cool down much faster than if they were curled in a ball. It is a highly efficient heat-dumping position. Second, and more importantly, it is the ultimate sign of security. In the wild, a wolf would never sleep like this. It exposes the throat, the stomach, and all vital organs to predators. It also makes it very hard to get up quickly if attacked. If your dog sleeps like this, it means they feel 100% safe in your home. They have zero fear of attack. They trust their environment and their family completely. It is practically a compliment to your ability to provide a safe home. These 18 explanations reveal the fascinating ancient logic behind your dog's strangest behaviors. What seems bizarre, embarrassing, or chaotic to us is often perfectly normal from a canine perspective, shaped by tens of thousands of years of evolution, survival instincts, and incredibly sophisticated senses. Modern research continues to confirm what owners often forget: dogs don't act without reason. Every spin lick, whimper, howl, or sniff is rooted in biology, communication, or emotional expression. So now we want to hear from you. Which of these behaviors does your dog do most often? Does your dog get the zoomies after a bath or stare at you while they do their business? Share your stories in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, make sure to share it with other pet lovers. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more content exploring the minds and behaviors of our amazing canine companions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.